Oh, wow, there's 23 people already? Show. Just figuring out a few things before we get going here. Hi, Stephanie. Oh, Caroline's here too. I am trying to get it set up so I can see comments as well as when I'm stitching because my camera is slightly behind me. So, good morning, Sylvia. I know there's a lot of people that are going to say good morning. I'm not going to be able to say everyone's name. So, I hope you all have your coffee. I do. Not going to be able to see it. Where's. Oh, there it is. What did I do? So, hi, Russia, Irina. We have Korea. We have Russia. We have East Coast, obviously. Oh, there's Brian. So, we're in Arizona. You're up early, Brian. Oh, I forgot. Yes, well. I said East Coast. Canada is part of East Coast. Oh, in the UK. Okay, yay. Okay. Anyways, so as you can see, we're going to be working on what? What do you mean what? Yes, Canada's in the East Coast. See, I'm going to be distracted by all the comments now. Anyways, so you can see we're working on mushrooms today because I finished Saturn last night. And I just needed a break from confetti heavy work. Okay, you and I can have this conversation about Canada being part of the East Coast later. Yes, I know only part of Canada is, but only part of the US is too. So, anyways. So I'm just my goal today is to finish up the bottom parts of these two mushrooms. And then I have some back stitch around them. So that is what I'm going to be working on this morning. So please bear with me as I work this out because this is a very different setup than my. Oh, now we got the grammar police out. Anyways, so I'm going to ignore the comments for a while. And we're going to stitch. So right now I'm working on this green color that I put these few stitches in before I got started. Uh, I Emma, I don't make you buy anything. I just stitch and encourage. Are we having connection issues? Okay. Okay, cool. I just mine is I don't know, buffering on my computer, so I'm hoping. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully once you get off the subway, you'll have better reception. Are you in Seoul? Okay. It's been 10 minutes and I haven't even put a single stitch in yet. Well, almost 10 minutes. So I have my morning Folgers. I literally just got up. Oh, there's Gio. He's on the porch right now. So I woke up about an hour ago, made my coffee, and then got myself all set up. Did you all have fun last night during the stitching? I did. I didn't get very much stitching done, but I got a lot of YouTube floss tube watched, and oh, Michelle's even here. You're up really early. Well, I guess it's 6 a.m. for you, so it's not. That's your typical time. I did not get much done. I did get my finish on Saturn done, which I'm happy with. So one down from. I just wasn't really feeling like stitching last night. I was sitting on the couch stitching Saturn, and then I just felt guilty for not going to the gym. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my Instagram story pics of going to the gym and eating dinner. Thanks, Michelle. Michelle said, "Way to go on the gym." Yes, I'm trying very hard. It's we're working so far so good. We had one good week. Don't they say it's like 28 days of consistency to create a habit? Anyways, I'm chatting more than I'm stitching. So where are we at? Not only is so naturally Stitch With Me videos are awkward to begin with because unlike Caroline, I am not a natural talker. And it's hard for me to like find enough things to talk about. And now, but I'm hoping you guys can help stimulate the conversation because we're live. Even though this is a little even more awkward than a Stitch With Me video. Because I did not come prepared with anything necessarily to talk about. Awesome, Pat. Pat said changing habits works. Changed mine January of last year and lost 25 pounds. That's great. That's my goal is to, I have about 30 pounds I would like to lose, ideally more, but I'm not necessarily setting goals because when I set goals, I end up breaking them usually. So when it comes to weight loss or just healthiness, so I'm just going with the flow. Okay, so M Baby Blue 1233 said, "Hi, I'm new to stitching community. Welcome. Haven't even started my first piece yet. Could you recommend a good hoop or stand for a large piece?" What in regards to large piece, what are you talking about as far as size? Because large piece to you is very different than large piece to me. Or maybe it is. Craft in Korea. Where at in Korea are you? Are you in Seoul? Did I miss? Okay, what did I miss about Stitch M and Caroline? Oh, are you enjoying the linen that came with the kit? Um, I've never stitched on 28 count linen before. So maybe this is typical 28 count linen, or it's just, I don't know. It seems very thin looking to me. You can see, like, you can see my fingers behind it. It's also white, which I don't usually stitch on unless it's a full coverage piece. Um, so I don't know yet. It's still growing on me. Hi, Dina. Anyways, so not sure how I feel about the linen yet. Oh, I did realize that this little leaf right here, according to the picture and the graph, I was not supposed to backstitch it. But you know, I think it would look weird. I think in the picture it kind of looks weird that it's not backstitched. Um, Okay, it's a 625 by 451. Okay. Maybe you Canadians or anyone other than Americans can help me with centimeters because I don't know centimeters compared to inches. So is that yay, Crafting Korea is off the subway. Crafting Korea, where at are you in Korea? Are you in Seoul or Busan or one of the smaller subway cities? Suwon. Okay. I'm not particularly familiar with where Suwon is. I'll have to look that one up. Anyways, where are we at? Oh, okay. So 24 by 18 inches. So that's kind of like what Henry is. I personally use the Omnic frames from, or I guess they're the quantum frames from the Omnic factory. I just call them the Omnic frames because I always get quantum and millennium mixed up. They're from Estonia, Omnic, Omanik. I personally like them. Since they do come from Estonia, if you're in America, they do take a while to get here. I currently have 3 sets. That's what I have Henry on. I know Letitia also uses those. Good morning, Letitia. I just talked about you. Okay, 45 minutes south of Seoul. Okay, I think I kind of know where that is. Yes, I love the Almanacs too. I like them because they have really good tension. And then with my Lowry stand, I can use the Lowry large frame accessory, and it supports it very well. So I don't ever have to worry about um, holding it in my hands or anything like that. I also know Some people just stitch their large pieces like their heids in Q snaps. So that's an option too. You just have, you'll have a lot of fabric bunched up on the sides. Okay, where am I at? You guys are easily distracting today. I can tell this isn't going to be a very productive morning. No, I never say nice things about you, Letitia. Yes, I said nice things. I was talking about the Omnic frames. Anyways, you guys in where am I at? See, I'm very distracted with this. I'd rather be talking instead of stitching, and the whole purpose of this was to stitch. I know. I don't know how people wait that long for a Millennium frame. I know their parts are all wood versus the Omnics, which have some plastic parts on them. But I don't know. I don't have the patience to wait that long. And you know what? I have everything I need except for scissors. How? Firstly, I'm sorry, Hedgerow. I watch your show or your channel all the time, but I cannot remember your name for the life of me. Rebecca. Okay, I did see that above, but I was confused. Thanks, Stephanie. Anyways, Rebecca, how are you saying that? Like, what is your basis for saying that the Omnics are sturdier? Excuse me. Just feel. Rebecca says the Omnic frames are. They just feel better in her hands and frame. Okay. I personally went with the Omnic because they're cheaper, I think. And I had heard about the long wait time for the Millenniums, and like, I think I'm just gonna go with the Omnic, and I'm glad I did. I definitely have no qualms about going with their product. They have great customer service. If you email them, because I emailed them with a question, they get back to you right away. Of course, they're in Europe and I'm in America, so the time zones, you have to wait a day or two just because of the time zone factor. But yeah, Okay, so I actually have one color done. Flip it over here. I agree. I mean, yes, they are very expensive and they are an investment. Of course, I bought mine, I think, 3 months after I started cross stitching. Any frame or stand is an investment just because of the costs involved to get it initially. But once you have it, then as long as you know you're going to be stitching, I don't know, once the bug is bitten and you know you're going to be stitching, then I mean, for me, it was definitely worthwhile. Anyways, we're going to move on to, let me fill in. There they are. Oops, sorry. Turn my light off. Of course, today I have a really bad, like, I don't know, phlegm in my throat or something. I have hoops. I used a hoop last night on my Saturn piece just because I didn't have a Q-snap available. I personally prefer Q-snaps over hoops. I can get the tension tighter as well as it maintains the tension better for me. I don't know, maybe it's just my inability to properly use a hoop. I don't know. So here in the U.S. or in New Jersey, it's actually, we're finally warming up a bit today before it gets cold again next week and then gets warm again on the weekend. So luckily, at least on the weekends, we're having some nice weather. Typically, it's the other way around in the winter. At least in my area, it always seems like the bad weather comes on the weekend and the good weather is during the week when I have to be working. Um, but today, I think we're supposed to get up to 50 or maybe even the mid 50s. I'm hoping. I mean, my plans are to stay inside and stitch and procrastinate on homework anyway. So I do plan on going to the gym after we stitch for a bit here. Exactly, Stephanie. Stephanie said, "Why do today what you can put off until tomorrow?" Exactly, and my homework is not due until Monday night. I do hope to have it done before the end of day tomorrow, just because tomorrow being Sunday. just because I don't know what Monday's going to bring me with work. Work has been really busy. I have a new student now, so I'm getting adjusted to having 7 students in my classroom instead of 6, as well as all the testing and everything that goes into having a new student. Bye, Rebecca. Have a good day. Emma, isn't that the norm, or is uh, Liverpool more sunny than rainy? Dina, what are you stitching on today? I was hoping you'd say that. That's probably my favorite whip of yours is the Firefly Fairies. Don't know why, because I would never stitch it myself. Maybe that's why, because I can vicariously watch you stitch it, and so I don't have to. Well, any progress is good progress, right, Dina? Do, do, do. Hi, Andrea. Say a quick hello to your Stitchy group. Hi, Library Stitchy group. Thank you, Midnight Crafter. She says, "Love your Henry VIII Haid. I'm in the UK and have been to Hampton Court Palace several times. I used to be obsessed with Tudor stuff. So I'm not necessarily. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with Tudor stuff, but I do enjoy the history and pomp and circumstance and just the tradition of the British crown. Um, Plus, I don't know. Henry looks like me, or I look like Henry, so I'm gonna pretend like it's a self portrait on the wall. No, I don't. I hope it's never. I hope I never look like that. But there is a resemblance. Oh, you have to mow the lawn, Brian? Yeah, I guess that's what's nice about having seasons. You don't have to do that in the winter here. Oh, there I am. Okay. That color is done. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not a big Halloween person to begin with. Here. One thing I have, Letitia, I would love for you to take a picture and send it to me of your Stitch with Me recording setup. I have had a different setup every single time I've stitched so far, and I just cannot find one. I mean, I can tolerate them, but would like to find something maybe a little bit more permanent that would work. I don't know. Maybe it's the type of tripod I have. I can't think of the words to say today. Okay, so we're going to do this one now. Right? Yes. Let's do this one now. Thank you, Letitia. Tina Stitches. I thought about doing the Royal Tudor mandala for my chatelaine, but I thought about, I don't know, the mandalas just don't seem to really interest me because I get bored on stitching the same thing over and over again. And if it's the same thing on four sides, which I know not every detail is necessarily the same on all four sides, I don't know. I just don't think I'd be able to handle that. So that's why I'm starting with the tea house challenge. Plus, it's architectural, and I love architecture, so. Yeah, sometimes I feel the same way, Emma. Emma said her stitching setup for filming is a mess, and she's gonna kill herself in some unfortunate accident. Uh, I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to kill myself, but I'm constantly hitting the tripod. I'm stitching in weird angles that's unnatural for myself, just to get the best angle. And, you know, I guess whenever we're doing something, there's no perfect way to do this just because of the angles you have to get so you can see what you're doing. I don't know. Now we go here. Does anybody have any questions for me? I mean, I don't really have, I didn't come prepared with any kind of plan of discussion here. Oh, by the way, Stitching Emma, I loved your video last night on uh, critical thinking and how surveys are not always accurate. And I completely 100% agree with everything you said. So, you're welcome. She does. Letitia said that Emma always has fascinating topics, and I agree. I think your job is fascinating, so don't ever apologize for talking about your job because I find that totally fascinating. I also watch lots of, and I think Letitia agrees. We watch a lot of crime documentaries and real life type shows. Okay, got us. Okay. I'm glad you feel like you're at a retreat, Betty. It is. This is a unique perspective of a retreat. It's kind of like a one-sided conversation with typing here, but yes, I'm sure, Letitia. I'm sure Emma's perspective is very different, but I still enjoy hearing it. How do I, Stephanie asks, how do I avoid the burnout that comes with my profession? So you're talking about special education, Stephanie? Yes. Um, that's a good question because actually, when I was a new teacher out of college, I taught music in Maryland for 3 years, and I actually did get the burnout there. It was this I don't. It was just for me an uncomfortable and poor situation that I was in. I was basically treated like a glorified babysitter so that the classroom teachers could have prep time. So I was not happy with that, and I ended up quitting, and that's how I ended up in Korea teaching English for a year. Um, in my current profession as special ed, I love what I do. Yes, there's good days and bad days. I taught in Glen Burnie. So in special education, for me, I love what I do. So I'm not. I don't. I mean, yes, there's lots of really bad days, and there's lots of struggles, and then, on top of all that, I have the injury I received at work that I'm still dealing with from 2 years ago, the concussion. So yes, it's a hard job, but I think you have to have a special. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. I think you have to have a special type of personality to be able to handle it on a day-to-day basis. And on top of that, I'm also a supervisor. I'm in charge of I'm in charge of 6 staff in my classroom, which is a handful. And, anyone who's a supervisor understands what that's like. So, how do I avoid burnout? I don't know. I think it's just because I finally found a job I enjoy, and I just realized I have 2 stitches I missed. Um, I will say right now, I'm currently feeling burnout from college, and I just started in August. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I'm really struggling right now with the focus on my coursework and getting anything out of it that is worthwhile for my current profession. So, yeah. Yes, I know. I mean, whenever I lived in Glen Burnie, I was in Baltimore City all the time. And then whenever I moved away from Baltimore, and I lived in York, PA, and commuted down to Glen Burnie every day. And so with that, I drove through Center City, Baltimore on I-83 every day because it was the quickest way to get to Glen Burnie from the north. But that was, going on going on 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Between 10 and 15 years ago. And Stitch in Korea or Craft in Korea asked, I didn't. She said, I didn't know you taught here taught English here. What did you think about it? Would love to hear your experience. I'm about to start my 5th year. Oh, okay. Um, I taught there for a year. I was outside of Busan in Gimhae. I really enjoyed it, and I would have stayed if they offered me more money for the 2nd year, but they didn't want to negotiate with me to make it worthwhile. Also, I wasn't typically, at least what I found when I was there 6 years ago, 6 years, yeah, 6 years ago, was that it was younger people just out of college that were doing it, and I was a little bit older than everyone else. So I really enjoyed. I don't know. I really enjoy. I love the culture of Korea. I love the food. I miss the food, and yeah. I mean, we could definitely have more conversations, Stitch in Korea, about specifics, but it was a great experience, and I'm glad I had the opportunity, and I'm glad I went in with an open mind because I know a lot of the reviews online just talk about how bad it is, but that's because they went in with the premise that living in Korea is exactly the same way as living in America. So, okay, so going back to everyone else's, I am currently working on my doctorate. And is it Elisa? I really am not sure what my plans for my doctorate are. I mean, it's a leadership doctorate, so I'm looking to probably move into administration. And it's just really a way to continue my education because I never, I'm the type of person that while I love what I do and everything, I get bored easily with my jobs. And being a teacher in a classroom is a lot of monotony. While you can change the subjects and you can change, and especially with my job because of the type of work, things I teach, being vocational skills. I have 6 years. Dina's asking questions about the degree. It's she asks, do you have a set time to finish, or can you take breaks along the way? They highly discourage breaks because it's a very regimented program. The coursework is completely laid out for us, and so we really don't have any say in the coursework, as well as we're in a cohort. So if I were to take a break, I would have to take an entire year off until those courses became available again. I enjoyed. Emma says I'd I'd go to school forever if it was financially viable. I think I would too if it was varying different programs, but I don't know. Right now, I'm really struggling. But it's also I think it's just the time of year, and you know, like you said, the winter blues. Which, by the way, I never heard of a Blue Monday before, but because our your Blue Monday was our Martin Luther King Day, so I was ecstatic that I was off from school. It's it's amazing to think how um, people going into foreign countries expecting the same lifestyle as those in America, or other Western countries, because the cultures are so very different. And you go for the experience. So if I'm going for the experience, I want to experience it like a Korean, or like an Indonesian, or like a Chinese person, not like an American experiencing, on travel, especially when I'm there for an entire year. So to me, going in with preconceived notions is just, I don't know, it's to me it's baffling, because why don't you want to experience it? Like, anyway, I'm rambling about that. But while I was in Korea, I was lucky enough to get to go to Hong Kong for a long weekend. When it was a very whirlwind long weekend, but it was like Friday through Monday. And Hong Kong was the number one place in the world I always wanted to go to because of the architecture, and also the history about being a British, what, I don't know what the exact term is, a city state, or were they considered a colony? I'm not exactly sure, um, but So the in Hong Kong, the cross cultures between the Chinese as well as Western European, Western British was awesome because you had both Chinese architecture and Asian architecture, and you had American, or not American, you had Western architecture. You had lots of people speaking English, which was good for me because when I was in Korea, a lot of people didn't speak English, and I didn't speak Korean. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys are getting more stitching done than I am because I am very distracted here today. What are we saying? The land was. Oh, so it was a lease. I didn't realize it was considered a lease. Donna, this is the mushroom sampler. Let me get the picture for you. This is the mushroom sampler that Elena B and I are doing for the mushroom stitch along, mushroom sow on Instagram from Le Bonheur de Dame. I'm trying to get it all in. There's the name. This is currently what I'm working on here. So this is a kit that came from France. They also have mini kits of like one of these motifs. So let's go ahead and do one more color, and then I think we're going to call it a day. I love this design too because I love mushrooms. I've always had a fascination with mushrooms, even before my gnomes. Yes, it was. Hong Kong was given back to the British Commonwealth gave Hong Kong back to China in 1997. Has the new season of Victoria started? Letitia said, "Have you been watching Victoria on PBS?" I didn't know that the new season. Oh my gosh, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it on demand to get caught up. No, I did not know it was back on again. Hi, Mary Beth. Thank you. Actually, Gio was up here on the porch earlier. Maybe before we end, I'll put some nuts out there and see if he'll come back. Would you be interested in that? Would any of you be interested in that? Yes. Okay. Let me do one more color and then we'll see if we can. I'll have to move the camera, so hopefully no one will get sick. In the last couple weeks, I've actually had 3 squirrels, 2 blue jays, and 2 cardinals coming to fight over the nuts. Of course, I shoo away the blue jays because they're pretty nasty birds. Okay, so we are here. Come through. There we go. So Geo, when he comes, oftentimes when I come home from work, he'll be out in the yard. I don't know, doing his squirrel thing, and I'll just whistle at him or yell his name or whatever, and he'll look up at me, and then he'll follow me all the way to the stairs because I live on the second floor apartment, and he'll follow me all the way down to the stairs. Or all the way over to the stairs, and then he'll go his separate way, and I'll come upstairs to the apartment, and next thing I know, I come into the apartment and look outside, and he's sitting on the balcony waiting for his dinner. Yes, I'm the squirrel whisperer. I'm not the only one. My friend and his aunt both have squirrels that they have befriended. I don't have pets of my own, so I kind of treat Geo like my own pet. I know a lot of people think I'm nuts or I shouldn't be feeding the squirrels, but we have dumpsters where people throw their trash out, and the squirrels are often in the dumpsters. I would much rather that the squirrels, Geo, be eating the nuts that I provide versus garbage from the dumpster. Stephanie, there have been many times where Geo has tried to come into the house, and I do block him from that because I do not want him carrying in any kind of germs or fleas, or I'm not, not that I think he is dirty, but you just never know because he is wild. Well, that's Betty, it's because your squirrels are hungry. They need to be. She says that the squirrels cause power outages. And I'm like, well, you got to feed them so that they don't chew the lines. Or maybe they get a high from chewing on the electric line. Who knows? Exactly, Elisa. She said you may not be able to catch him if he gets in, and I don't want to take that risk. Ooh, wrong place. Well, Michelle said, Stephanie, I just got a mental picture of Gerald singing to Gio while they clean the floors. I do sing the Geo. We're just not cleaning floors, so. I don't think I'll be singing to Geo today. Maybe next time. Growing up, we had an old house from the turn of the 1900s, and we had a chimney as well. So we had all kinds of birds and bats, and even a flying squirrel come into the house through the chimney area, through the attic. Pretty crazy. And then we also had a family of skunks that lived under the front porch because we had a front porch that was raised, and then it had lattice work around the underneath of it, and it was, I believe it was dirt underneath the porch. And so we had a family of a mother and baby skunks that lived under the porch. And every night they would come out at dusk and start looking for dinner. And they would walk up the street in a single file line, mom in the lead and the 7 babies behind. Okay, we're getting there. Almost done with this color. I love skunks. Oh no, I had that one in the wrong place. I'm gonna have to fix that. Dang it. Do. Let's see. Do. How to get this out? Come on. There we go. Okay. Craft in Korea. Where are you originally from? And I know I'm pretty sure Michelle asked you your name, and I didn't see the comments. Texas. We're at in Texas, if you don't mind my asking. About. You don't have to give specifics. Because Texas is a big place. Maggie. Thanks, Michelle. Michelle, do you have to work today? Or do you have anything right at the moment? Or what time do you start at 8, don't you? Houston, but I went to school in Dallas area. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Michelle says she has a lot of work today. I have a lot of procrastination today. I know it's hard. Craft in Korea says that's hard work, procrastination. I'm like, I know it's hard work because I sit here and I think about it. That's what ended up having me go to the gym last night because I felt guilty for not going. Okay. Let me fix those 3 stitches I had to frog out of that one color so I don't forget, because if I don't, I will forget and then they won't get stitched. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, Why Not Knit? No, this is morning. It's 10:15 a.m. Hi, Paulo. Okay, so here. Hi, Ruth and Sandra. Yes, and I'm sure it's much warmer in West Texas than it is here. Okay. Last stitch for the day. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera. Finish this off. I have to go put sweatpants on because I have shorts on right now and I'm not going outside in shorts today. A little too cold yet. Okay, so admire the mushrooms while I go put sweatpants on. And then we'll go see if we can find Geo. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna start to move the camera so it might get, yes, I know, awkward changing pants silence. So I'm going to, it might jerk the camera here a minute just until I get it out of the tripod. And then we'll go, there we go. You can see my pile of procrastination there. Oh, you like live me better? I don't know. Let's see him. Let's wait here a minute and see if he comes by. He'll often be over there on the roof looking over to watch. So I think squirrels, at least my squirrels, will eat anything because they eat garbage out of the trash. No, I don't think we're gonna sing today. I haven't warmed up. And we had snow up until yesterday. We had a dusting, and then yesterday it got pretty warm that everything melted off. Actually, no, Geo usually comes pretty quick after I give nuts, after I put some nuts out. So He was here not too long ago getting some nuts because I had put some out yesterday and he didn't eat them till this morning. So he might actually be off burying them somewhere. So we'll wait here just a little longer. He might be around the other side of the building, I don't know. Or he might be over in the dumpster, who knows. Never watched the show, Deborah, so I don't know who that is. Just peek out one more time. I do not see him. So anyways, with that, I'm going to leave you guys go for today. Maybe one day when I come home from work and I see him out and about, we'll go live and we can feed him then. So I hope you all have a wonderful stitching day. This went on a lot longer than I had planned. We're at 81 minutes. So thank you all for participating. Remember, you can always follow me on Instagram, Ginger Gerald Stitcher. And I will be posting, I think I have a video. I'm going to be doing an update on Wednesday for sure. I'm not sure about a video on Monday. I have to look at my list and see what I have in works. So happy stitching, happy weekend, and I will see you later. Bye.